All right, super fascinating stuff. Very nice to meet all of you. Great to be here with you today. My name is Jay Wilder. I am from the company Deepset. Let's see if we can get this going here. Little help? Well, while we're figuring that out, I'll just get to it. So a little bit about Deepset. So Deepset is based in Berlin and also headquartered in New York as well. So we work on both sides of the Atlantic. The space that we play in is addressing one of the very fundamental challenges right now within the AI industry writ large. And that is that today, companies, organizations, both in the private and public sector, have been quite successful in testing, experimenting, and piloting AI within their organizations. But when you flip to the side of what's actually moving into production, what's really scaling out and providing durable value over time, the results have been less spectacular thus far. And it is our mission at Deepset to correct that and to make that gap come together in a way that AI systems can be built to the very specific requirements and needs of each organization in a way that's both flexible but also very, very well governed. So how do we do that? So the first thing that we do is we've created the open source framework called Haystack. Haystack is one of the most widely used open source frameworks for building AI, almost like you would build with Lego blocks. You can connect different components from all of the different ecosystems that we read about in the news today, let's say from AWS, from Google, from NVIDIA, from many, many different providers that are all innovating today, ultimately for the customer's benefit and choice. So we're an open agnostic layer within this ecosystem that allows you to assemble these into the solutions that work within customers like these, like the European Commission, which uses us in a highly regulated public sector environment, or Airbus, which I'll tell you a little bit more in a moment, how they use it in defense sector, Bosch in manufacturing, or Woven by Toyota in R&D for automobiles, and Takeda for R&D within pharmaceuticals. So these systems wind up becoming extremely modular, extremely flexible, but also well-governed and agnostic, and ultimately sovereign under their control. So let me tell you a little bit about this dilemma in the industry right now. So there's been tens of billions of dollars invested so far in infrastructure, building out different technology components, from servers to chips to models to all different types of components that need to be brought together to actually make AI work reliably within organizations such as enterprises and governments. MIT released this study just before the turn of the year, and it was kind of a seminal consensus point that put, I would say, a firm stamp on the fact that only 5% of the pilots that are being created today within organizations are actually achieving material value. And that is to say that 95% of the things that we've been working on so far collectively across the industry have not yet graduated to a place where they're making meaningful impact. And that stat is cited quite widely today in the industry now, but I think the thing that's really more important to that is the why. And the why behind that MIT found is that these systems that we're building, they're too static, they're too rigid. They don't adapt, they don't learn, they don't evolve. And so what happens is things that work well in a demo under very kind of constrained amounts of information or users or requirements can't kind of survive the reality test of moving into wider populations, more usage, more information. Plus, all of the change that just happens in businesses every day, all the innovation that's coming out every week, and all the volatility today in the world in terms of regulations and geopolitics that also play impacts on the design choices that have to be accommodated. So these are some of the symptoms that we typically see within organizations is prototypes that only work in demos, assistants that work on a certain set of questions but hallucinate or maybe even worse, are sycophantic as you scale them out. Or the things that we pilot never make it past the solution architects, the platform teams, the compliance teams, or the security teams. Those have been afterthoughts that have not been built in, and things must be rewritten from scratch. So what we recognize, and we recognize with our customers, is that the problem today isn't around the models. The models keep coming, they keep getting better, and they're actually very, very good. I think most of us in the room here today have experienced how powerful they are. But it's really the systems of context around them. They need to be extremely iterative, flexible, they need to perform at scale, they have to be transparent so you can understand how they work at each step, and they have to ultimately be under your control in a sovereign way. So what Haystack does is marries together the open source flexibility of being able to combine all these different Lego pieces to build these solutions, and it wraps it with a platform that brings in all of the governance needs to bring that data together in a safe way, and to be able to control access, to control how these are evaluated, audit trails, compliance, et cetera. And this can run on any type of infrastructure from public clouds, such as AWS, to VPCs that many enterprises use today, all the way to on-premise and air-gapped environments in the federal governments, as well as in military. The example that I have up here is just a quick demonstration to give you a sense of the type of challenges that we like to solve. This is an example from Airbus. Airbus, us, and the Bundeswehr from the German military work together to build a system that integrates real-time sensor data from what's happening in the field, literally as it's happening, together with NATO doctrines, together with information from their pilots, from their machinery, all of that, in order so that folks on the ground can make faster decisions that are literally life and death in the moment, and be able to rely on those in a very trustworthy way. And so wringing out iteratively all of those things that can go wrong in AI systems is a big part of getting this right? So being able to be flexible, being able to be iterative, getting to that last 20% or that last mile of effectiveness is really where we thrive and where we like to partner with organizations that have similar challenges around mission-critical AI use cases. So in being here this week, really looking forward to connecting with all of you, understanding what your challenges are in bringing AI into production, discussing partnerships that help build out the more holistic solution from software integration as well as parts of the tech stack, and always welcome and interested in discussing investment opportunities as well. So thank you for your time, and enjoy the rest of the day.